Hey everybody, welcome to another KUIU Live event. Thank you for taking the time to tune in today. And man, I've been on a crazy travel schedule the last couple weeks. After my last live broadcast, I jumped on a plane, flew to New York, did a press tour, met with publications like Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal, had a meeting with Sports Illustrated and a couple other publications there, talking about the business, some of our new products coming out. And that lasted for 3 days. I flew home on a Friday night, turned around and jumped on a plane on Sunday and was in Asia looking at a new factory, working on some welded seam production for different types of dry bags and some cases that I'm working on developing. And went and toured that factory. It's an interesting process of building products without sewing. It's all welded using RF welding machines and equipment. Kind of some newer technologies this factory specializes in. So toured that last week, worked on some design and development there with that team, and then flew to Tokyo and met with our major supplier Toray, as a lot of you know, based in Japan. Talked about some new fabric development, some new products that are in development, and our timeline and schedules for production next year. Had a great meeting with them, and then came home, went to Las Vegas on Friday afternoon, hooked up with the mobile showroom there on Saturday, met with some customers there, and I'm back here in the office this week. And we just finished, this is hot off the presses, our 2017 fall or holiday catalog that we produce. And this is a project that takes several months and a whole lot of help and people and resources here to put together. And you'll find all the photography from Paul Bride that's that's the outside photography. And it's all coming from our most recent BC stone sheep hunt. We got some great photos, some different types of scenery and shots than we've had in the past. The catalog will drop in some of our publications like Bow Hunter, Huntin' Full, Western Hunter around the 12th of October. We'll be sending it out to all of our customers on the 20th of October. So it'll be to you by the end of the month. So take a look at it, and you're gonna find new products featured, new colorways featured for the holiday program. And like I said, some amazing shots by Paul. And I think one of the things we highlight in here at the very beginning is this study that we started on understanding the science of pack weight and how it impacts human performance. And starting this company and highlighting that we've developed ultralight products, really did that understanding the science behind weight and performance. My dad was a competitive cyclist. I've worked with sports science laboratories in my days of playing professional sports and football, and really understanding the benefits of putting science behind athletics. And understanding that there's been a lot of research done on bike weight and human weight in the cycling category, professional cycling. And it's a sport that's won or lost on big mountain climbs, and they focus on reducing grams and ounces out of the body weight and out of bike weight because it makes such a significant difference. And knowing that is one of the reasons why I wanted to focus on using materials designs and concept and manufacturing techniques, design techniques to reduce weight of our products, and really to help maximize our customers' performance in mountains, because weight really matters. And it's interesting in working with finding Toray and understanding the patents they have around the way they produce their yarn that allows stretch recovery without elastic. And the downsides to elastic that doesn't add any performance value, just allows stretch fabrics to recover. And the ability to remove it out of our product line. Developed the very first layering system at KUIU compared to what I developed my previous company. We were able to take over 4 pounds out of just our apparel, and we removed several pounds out of our packs. And overall now our pack kit weight with all the different products that we make focused on reducing weight. We've been able to take pack weights that used to run in the 60 to 65 pound range for a 10-day hunt, all the way down to 40 to 45 pounds. And that 20 pounds of difference is significant. And it's a performance advantage that I wanted to find a way to measure. And we contacted UC Davis Human Performance Lab and talked to them about what we were trying to better understand is how do we research and study weight, pack weight, and put some data behind exactly what that does to performance in the mountains. So I met with Judd Van Sickle, who is a researcher, really smart guy. He's a mechanical engineer. He has a PhD in really human science, performance science, and is an ex-collegiate, in fact, he was national champion cyclist and has coached and worked in training with UC Davis cycling team that's won 11 national championships. So he understands what we were trying to achieve in this study. And in August, we went into his lab, or July and the beginning of August, right before I went to BC, we did a series of tests using no weight, 40 pounds and 60 pounds on 3 different inclines, 0, 10, and 20% on a treadmill. I was hooked to a heart rate monitor and a VO2 or carbon dioxide analyzer. And we did a series of tests to really start to measure the differences in weight and performance. During that process, we realized how significant it was going from 0 to 40 pounds and really the exponential increase from 40 to 60 pounds. And as we came back from BC, sat down with Judd and kind of went through all the information, he recommended this could be a full-blown graduate research study, that the university probably have interest in it. And so he introduced us to Gretchen Kazaza with UC Davis and discussed the concept of the research program with her. And she recommended putting us in touch with Roberto Quintano from Sacramento State, who's a leading researcher in the effects of altitude and human performance, which really exciting because now the one variable we didn't know how we can measure was altitude. And with Roberto's expertise, he'd be able to add that in with his access to an altitude chamber and also a VO2 analyzer, a carbon dioxide analyzer that is mobile that we could put on our backs and do real world testing at various altitudes to confirm the testing that we do within his laboratory. And I think, Blaze, do you have some of the footage from original study? It's really interesting in setting up these laboratory tests. And what you're seeing there is the carbon dioxide analyzer, and that's going to measure the amount of carbon dioxide my body's burning. And again, it's with various weights at different inclines. That measures how much consumption of carbon dioxide, how much oxygen I'm using during the different events and different tests. We also did heart rate monitor to measure my heart rate, and it let us do a series of tests. We did rest days in between the different tests to make sure I was recovered. And the data that we're able to pull down was really interesting and really has led to the interest by Sacramento State and University of California, Davis, to do a full-blown graduate research study on what we were able to initially learn from these tests. And in doing research on this information, Blaze and I have been working on this together. He's pulled down some information. The most recent study, comprehensive study that we can kind of find that was done on this was done when, Blaze, in like 1976 by the government, military, correct?
Yep. That's right.
And that's not involving, the current equipment and computers and the scientific research that's been done within these sports science laboratories that wasn't available back in '76. So now that we have 2 universities involved, KUIU is going to sponsor this research program. It'll be the most comprehensive modern study of understanding how pack weight impacts human performance. And we can add in the altitude factor to it too, which I don't believe that was done, right, Blaze, in that original study. And for us, it's exciting because now not only will we as a company better understand how weight impacts human performance, but my goal with this data and information is to be able to provide this information to our customers. The end goal, what we're hoping to be able to do is that you'll be able to take your profile, your height, weight, put it into an app, add in your gear list, your food list, total up your weight, put in the type of terrain or hunt you're going to do, estimated elevation that you're going to be hunting in or climbing or whatever activity you'll be doing at that elevation. And it'll be able to tell you how many calories per hour you're going to burn. And then you'll be able to take your kit weight and the type of food you're going to bring, your food list, and begin to adjust it and look at the weight differences and how it impacts your hunt by the hour, by the day, and the total time in the field. And I think that information is going to be really helpful in understanding, choices on equipment, choices on food, how many calories per hour you're going to be burning, and to have data behind understanding why weight is so important, why it can make you feel so much better and perform better in the mountains. And for me, it's just, I'm always curious. I really want to understand more about human performance with my background and understanding the science behind human performance and applying it to what we do here at KUIU, and be able to share that with our customers so our customers are better educated and they can really help them plan accordingly for their upcoming hunts and be prepared on the right gear, the right calorie count, right food mix. And then on top of this research we're doing, I'm going to be working with Judd, who's an expert in nutrition, an expert from his training with a cyclist on training your body to process and burn lactic acid more efficiently, and a diet that can help you achieve it, and a training regimen that can help us achieve it too. And it's a training program I'm going to be working with Judd, putting together this fall, that will launch on a video series as I go through this training process for my upcoming sheep hunt that's in the Yukon this summer. And it'll be interesting to be able to run the same series of tests I did last summer and see the improvements I was able to gain from Judd's expertise in training for an event like a hunt, which is different, which is very similar to training for a grand tour for cycling, which he's helped professional cyclists do, like the Tour de France, and really be able to train your body to peak for that event. And our customers will be able to log in, they'll be able to follow on the same training regimen that Judd puts together for me, the same diet, and it'll be a process where we work together to really maximize my performance, and hopefully those that want to join in the training, their performance for upcoming hunting. And he's also going to help us better understand nutrition and the diet and the menu choices that we put together for the upcoming hunts. And like Judd was explaining to me, we may look, right now I average about 2 pounds of food a day, about 4,300 calories per day is what I bring, high percentage of fat. He's going to help really, through his science and understanding of food, fat, carbohydrates, and protein, put together a more comprehensive, scientifically built menu that'll help us perform better and feel better in the mountains. And then I'm going to go test it up in the Yukon and share the results with everybody. And I'm excited about it. It's something that I've really been curious about and wanted to understand, and now we have the opportunity to, now that this is going to become a full-blown research study. In fact, Blaze and I just finalized and submitted today to UC Davis and Sacramento State the research brief with outlining our goals and objectives for this research program. And they're going to put it back together. And it's a research study that our goal is to have it start in the beginning of the semester in 2018, first semester, and have it finished by June. And it'll be published, and that information we'll then be able to share with all of you. And we're really excited about it and feel fortunate to now have 2 universities behind this study to really give us a comprehensive understanding of everything we put together. And the great thing is it's now going to involve multiple people that'll be studied. I think their goal originally on the first program is going to have 12 volunteers that'll be probably in an age demographic of 20 to 25 years old, because they'll probably be students, and will let us have a broader range of study and to really build to quantify the data and be able to provide a more accurate information versus just myself doing the research and being the guinea pig on all the science. So stay tuned for that, and we'll keep you updated. We're filming it. We'll have a documentary film. We'll probably do constant updates, video updates of the process of this as well. And like I said, we'll be able to share the results, and my goal is to create an app that we all can use to be better prepared for our upcoming hunts. So wanted to share that with you. Just, it's something exciting, it's something new, and it's a research program that's gotten now much larger than we ever anticipated when we first started this. So looking forward to diving into this with our researchers and putting it all together. So that's kind of an update of what I've been working on, some of my travel schedule, and I like to open this live event up for further questions that you may have, and questions I'm able to answer in regards to product or the company, and I know McCade's here fielding questions right now, and why don't we open it up, McCade? Unless there's something else I should cover that I haven't.
No, I think you covered it. Let's dive into some questions. We've had a lot that have been sent in today.
Okay.
This one actually came from our Instagram post, and I think it's something that we should cover. This came in from Burning_Fight, and they said a company whose whole foundation is built on being lightweight, sponsoring, and having the owner take part in the study is the definition of biased. The scientific process has gone to hell these days.
I can understand that comment, and this is what I'm so excited about it becoming a university research program, because it won't be me being the guinea pig and doing all the different exercises and study. It'll be 12 different people, and as the university said, as this progresses and continues in research, we're going to choose an age demographic that's easily available. Once this study's done, we had talked about using a group of people maybe in their 30s and then compare it to another group of people maybe in their 40s and 50s over time. And it will continue to evolve as we gather data, and certainly won't be biased now that it's a research program done by the universities. We won't have any control on who are the people in the study. And the research is, like I said, will be done by 2 leading scientists that have expertise in altitude and exercise science. So we should get some great data, some really accurate data, and something that's reliable and totally unbiased. That's a great question.
This one's come up quite a bit, actually. This one came from Brian George, and he asked, why don't you produce your gear in the U.S.?
Yeah, and I got those comments, McCade, on a couple of posts I did for my travel recently over in Asia. And, if at the beginning of KUIU, I tried to produce in the U.S. I ended up in a factory in Canada, in Vancouver. One of the challenges we have, especially for the type of products we produce here at KUIU, is having the technical expertise, the equipment, and the capacity here in the United States. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist today in the United States for us to produce our product lines here. And the types of products that we do, there's regulations around gluing and seam sealing that can't be done here in the United States. It can be done overseas. And then the equipment and the expertise unfortunately has moved out of the United States overseas. And to create a technical product line like we do, the availability of the factories to do the type of cutting and sewing and construction, the designs we put together, just aren't available here. And I've talked to Donald Trump about it, Donald Trump Jr., who I have relationships with, about the challenges of U.S. production for technical cut and sew, and that the facilities just aren't here. And if there's some way they can incentivize or bring those jobs back, I'd be all for it if we could have the production that can meet our demands. But right now it's just not here in the United States. And I appreciate, and I would love to create more jobs here and have those factories here that we could use, but unfortunately they're just not here. But KUIU has created a lot of jobs here in the United States, not only here at corporate but also through our warehouse. We've created jobs for outside agencies that we work with in data analytics, graphic design and arts, and we certainly add a lot of jobs here domestically. The production and cut and sew, like I said, just isn't here and available today. And the capacity certainly isn't here as well. But great question.
Here's another one from Instagram. This one came in from Steven_Goen, and he asked, I'm really envious of all the gear focused towards rough terrain. Are y'all coming out with a more southern whitetail style clothing / line of gear?
We've had those requests a lot, and my background, and I've never hunted whitetails. People are like, I can't believe you've never hunted whitetails. I haven't. I grew up in the mountains. Mountain hunting's been my focus. I love big expeditions up north, and I like the gear and designing and focusing on gear that solves those problems in the mountains. And if I was going to create a whitetail line, I'm sure we could produce something really good. I have zero expertise in what to put together. I've had customers volunteer us to do it. But our focus is really mountain equipment and gear, focused on reducing weight and increasing performance as a company. And at this time, waterfowl, whitetails, I've had a lot of requests for it, fly fishing gear and equipment, just isn't the focus of KUIU. And I think we can continue to evolve and push the limits on weight and performance for mountain expeditions and the types of training conditions we get in. For whitetail hunting, I wouldn't, it's just not a direction that I see us heading anytime soon.
Awesome. This one just came in from Sneaker574.
What's up, Sneaker?
And they asked, why doesn't KUIU kick deck like First Light to conservation? I wear your gear but wish there was something in the works. Is there?
We do a ton for conservation. I probably don't do enough to bang the drum about what we do. Instead, I just do it. Financially, we have contributed probably more dollars. I mean, I don't know exactly what First Light's done. I know there's the 1%, and Sitka talks about some of the stuff they do. I would argue that KUIU does as much or more than any of our competition does as far as supporting conservation, working with people that are changing legislation and making a difference in law and legislation here in the United States, and supporting those that can make a difference there. And as far as conservation dollars, we contribute a lot, and it's probably something I should create more awareness around. I just feel like it's something that is the foundation of this business, is conservation and giving back, and it's something that I've always done from my days when I had Sitka to now with KUIU. And I just take the stance that instead of talking about it, we just do it, and we do it in a significant way.
Awesome. This one came in from Meathead0680, and he asked, I posted earlier about the best way to train for an upcoming sheep hunt coming from Texas with little to no altitude and little to no access to trail or technical areas, 26 feet above sea level.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we're at 56 feet above sea level. Fortunately, we have hills not too far away I can train in, but there's creative ways you can get around it. Treadmills, getting access to like a rolling staircase in gym or elliptical climber, and using a pack with loaded weight on that type of equipment can get you pretty well prepared as far as your biomechanics around carrying a pack in the mountains. The challenge you're going to have is getting your feet in shape and really spending a lot of time in a pack outside. And if you don't have hills, you can get creative with finding drainages or areas that have some topography and doing loops within those. You can do creative, lunging and other types of exercises with a loaded pack to get used to carrying the pack on your shoulders. And I would recommend anything you do outside, make sure you're wearing the boots you're going to hunt in to get those things broken in, and primarily get your feet in. And you can find areas that maybe doesn't have big grades, but has some grades. You can work on side hilling to toughen up your feet and get the joints and tendons in shape for your upcoming sheep hunt. And if you can, take a summer vacation or spring vacation to somewhere in the mountains and do a short backpacking trip to get in shape. Makes a big difference.
Awesome. This was a great question that came in on Facebook from Tim Holmes.
What's up, Tim?
He asked, start training with heavy packs over short distances and increase the distance during training, or start with a lighter weight pack over long distances and increase weight over time?
So I think you need to start with a lighter pack for all distances to start with. I mean, primarily you don't want to get tendonitis, you don't want to get injured while you're preparing for a hunt, and I've done that. I've done it with lighter weight packs, doing too much at the beginning as far as longer distances, and I've done it with heavy weight packs on shorter distances and building up to longer distances. What I recommend is at least 90 days before your hunt, before you leave, is to start training with a pack. If you can go 120 days in advance, even better. But start with something in that 40 pound to 50 pound range. It may not feel like enough at the beginning, but what you're really trying to do is build up your tendons and your joints to that heavier weight before you step into a 50, 60, 70, 80, and I get all the way up to a 90 pound pack. But you gotta prepare yourself to get there, because if you get tendonitis during your training, you either have to stop training or you're going out of shape, or you're gonna train with it and take tendonitis into your hunt, which I've had become even more inflamed and more irritated on the mountain, and that's something you certainly don't want to do. So you kind of have to ease into it. I also don't recommend training in a loaded pack year round. It's hard on your joints, hard on your hip joints, and it's something that will break your body down over time. And you want to have a long career of hunting in the mountains. You got to really be smart about training and having a training regimen that builds you up to that event, and then letting your body recover this time of year after the event and building back into it for the following year. So, and like I said, we're going to have a series of videos in my training regimen that we're going to put together with the sports science lab in UC Davis and Judd Van Sickle for this upcoming season. I'll be able to share with you guys, and hopefully gives you some insight on what I'm doing. And if you want, you can follow on with that same type of program for this upcoming year. It'll start sometime in January.
Awesome. This one came in from Lee Cleanow just now on Instagram.
Hi, Lee.
And he asked, when do you anticipate entering the lifestyle market with some of your clothing and gear?
You know what you're going to start seeing, and as some of you have seen or you have seen through this year, we're introducing more of our products in more mainstream solid colors. We've had some solid colors that are more applicable to maybe hunting grays and browns. You're going to see blacks, you're going to see some other colors coming out in our product line that really transition over for lifestyle. We're going to have some specific lifestyle pieces that come out next year. We've had a lot of requests for an attack pant style pant, stretch woven pant that it doesn't have all the features that a attack pant has. Would come in a little bit lower price and something you can wear day to day, but in a Toray Prime Flex fabric. Those will be coming out next year. And so stay tuned. We have more coming, and we have more solid colors coming. I mean, our challenge from day one is staying in stock and inventory. We're finally at the strongest inventory level as a company 6 years later. And that's giving us the opportunity now to start to introduce more lifestyle and more lifestyle color pieces within the line. So you'll see more and more coming out. And I'm excited about it because it gives us more chances to wear KUIU every day.
So this is a pretty cool comment that came in from Jamie Mason. He said, looking forward to the research, especially about food. I used your sheep hunting diet in Alaska for moose this year and lost 7 pounds over 9 days. Pretty awesome.
Well, I hope that's a good thing. You know, it's you're going to go in. I mean, it's just a comment on that comment is you're going to have a huge calorie deficit in the mountains. You can't carry enough food to meet how many calories you're going to burn. So you are going to lose weight. I lose weight. You know, one of my goals in training is to strip out as much body weight as I can through my training regimen. So when I do get in the mountains, my body's pretty leaned out, and that weight loss maybe isn't quite as significant. But you are going to lose weight. There's no way 4,000 calories is what you're going to burn during a day in the mountain, which is roughly what I carry. Was there other part to that comment?
Yeah, so he also asked, what can you tell us about the extreme cold weather gear that you are testing? I know we released Brendan's muskox video.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the new Super Down Pro products that are just came out, and then we're working on some even warmer outerwear. I've been fortunate to be working with a new designer at KUIU, and Augie is his background was the lead technical designer at Marmot for 8 years, and he's built and worked on a lot of the high altitude suits for climbing Everest or K2 for Marmot. And we're working on some new concepts, designs that use that same technology into some really cold weather gear that we're working on and we'll be testing this winter. And really looking at how do you conserve heat and energy by some of the design techniques he's learned from high altitude exposure and things they have to design around at 28,000, 29,000 feet in really cold, windy conditions. So we're always kind of working to expand the range of our product line for hot weather and also working on stuff for even colder weather and more harsh conditions. And we may see some of that product coming out, about this time next year or in 2019, just depending on testing and where we are with the product line. But it's a great question.
This one came in from Black Watch Reloading, and they asked Peloton or Merino.
Both are great choices. I think, as I've discussed on this topic before, a lot of it's personal choice. For me, I like a fast-drying wicking base layer, and I like a fiber that's a little bit more durable. And so I'd choose the Peloton. Now that we have Max Spec, which is our treatment for odor, that's a medical grade treatment that Toray developed for the hospital industry that we apply to our fabrics and keeps our synthetics from really carrying an odor. And I was in 2 shirts for 14 days in BC this summer, and it was hot. We were sweaty, and neither of my shirts really became something that I couldn't wear or had a lot of odor to it. And one of the advantages to Merino is that it's made up with the basis of the fibers, keratin protein, which is antimicrobial, anti-odor by nature. And that's one of the benefits to the Merino product. You can literally wear one shirt day in and day out. It'll never really carry an odor. The downside to Merino is it's hydrophilic by nature, so it's going to pull the moisture off your skin into the fiber and hold it there. And you get an evaporative effect that can cool your skin in hot weather, and supposedly it warms your skin in colder weather, but it is going to hold moisture longer, and the Merino fiber just isn't that durable. So it just depends on what you prefer and what you like to wear next to your skin. We have some customers adamant towards Merino, and others that prefer synthetic. And right now, for me, I like our synthetics a lot, and that's what I've been wearing.
Right on.
It's a good question.
Great questions today. Let's see. Let's go to Robbie Catton. He asked, watched your video on the quicks down from Japan. Are you still using Polish down with a Japanese process?
Absolutely, and we won't go away from it. I mean, Kawada feather, the way they process their feathers is really unique. I've learned a lot from Mr. Kawada, and he's like I said, the leading foremost expert in down and down testing and protocols. He's created most of them from his expertise, and the way he processes a feather creates a cleaner feather. Polish down, like I said in the recent live video, it's a older age goose in colder climates. We get a larger feather out of it that's going to perform better and also resist compression when your product's compressed. And we won't go away from that. The processor, Quad Feather, or the Polish down, or the Quicks down we put on it with Toray, because it's so significantly better than what we can get out of anyone else in the world as far as a performance down feather that's waterproof. Great question.
Awesome. So I think we have time for about 2 more.
Let's do it.
Awesome. This one came in from McMullen_40, and he asked, how long does the DWR coating last? Like, does it lose its effect after washes and use?
You know, it's a great question. Probably most of our customers aren't really up to speed on some changes in regulation have happened since we launched this company. First 3 years we're in business, we could use a longer carbon chain that creates the foundation, the basis of all DWR, and Toray had perfected a way to make their DWR perform and last longer. Challenge with that carbon chain is it doesn't biodegrade very well, and that process and that longer carbon chain became banned globally due to wanting more environmentally friendly chemicals in the process. And so they've gone to a C6 carbon chain, which isn't as durable, doesn't last as long. And so our DWR, like anyone else in the industry, has had to go through that process of a less durable DWR. We've been pushing Toray, and Toray has been pushing their team to recreate the spec and the durability of their previous DWR. And we've made big strides in improving our DWR compared to what else is out there in the marketplace. But today's DWR, compared to just several years ago, is not as durable, doesn't last as long, and you do need to treat your products more often. Washing your products, light tumble dry, will help revitalize it. And then we recommend treating your garments on a seasonal basis at a minimum. I like to treat mine before I go on each hunt. You can do that through a NICWAC wash that we sell to put DWR back into your products, which we absolutely recommend. And it's more important now with the change in the carbon chain regulations, now that we're at a C6 from a C8, that it's important. And so that's kind of the status and where we are with DWR. We do recommend treating your garments on a regular basis, especially now.
Awesome. Last question coming in from XV Boss Trek, and he asked, sponsorship programs with KUIU or brand ambassador programs?
We've never had a pro staff. We don't do sponsorships. Instead, I've decided that I'm going to focus those dollars into products and product development and let the gear speak for itself. So we don't have an athlete or we don't have ambassador programs. Instead, we rely on our products and our customers to spread the word for us, and for us it's worked incredibly well, because our products and our business model allows us to deliver products that no one else in our marketplace, or really even the outdoor marketplace, can produce a level of products with the materials and designs that we do at the factories we produce them in, and let them talk about the gear for us instead of paying people or incentivizing people to say things about our product, whether they believe it or not. Instead, we just deliver the most amazing product in the world and let it speak for itself and let our customers tell the world. And that's, for us, that works incredibly well, and I think it creates more credibility around the brand, more credibility around the products, and allows more trust with our customers, that they hear it from another customer, not a paid spokesperson that will say whatever I need them to say, whether they believe it or not. And I've watched pro staffs, I've watched endorsed people over the last 40 years that I've been a customer in this industry, really lose credibility because they're willing to jump from one brand to another. And one year they're telling you this product's the best, and next year they're telling their competitor's product's the best, all because of sponsorship dollars. And something I don't believe in, and something we don't do here at KUIU. So that's my long-winded answer to ambassador programs and sponsorships. I hope you can understand.
Good deal.
So I think there's anything else you want to cover that's coming in, McCade?
I mean, we could go all day.
Let's do one more.
Okay.
I like the questions.
Okay, sounds
What
good.
are we at time-wise, Blaze?
We're We're at half an hour.
Okay.
Good question on Facebook here.
Why don't you ask it?
Yeah. Wyatt Banks, loved the truck tour. Do you plan to do it again or other direct touch points to your customers?
Yeah, I love the truck tour too, and thank you for the comment. The response to it has been outstanding. We've had huge turnouts at every event and every location. So every year we build a new marketing budget. We look at the ROI and expense on marketing plans and what's delivered. We'll be doing the same thing at the end of this month. We'll be analyzing the tour stops. We'll be looking at how many people came through the tour, how many people exposed the brand to new customers, and we'll be breaking it down analytically to make a decision if it's going to carry forward into 2018 and adjustments and changes we would make to what we learned from this year. But it's been a huge success, and I can't thank our customers enough for the support and the excitement when it shows up to their city. And it's been an awesome experience and a great way for us to take our product out to the customers and let them touch it, feel it, and try it on and see the whole collection. So I would imagine it'll continue.
And as a follow-up, we have a bunch of people putting in requests for their own areas. We have Northeast would be nice. Would you ever do one to the East Coast?
We do, and I would love to push it further east. This year we focused on most of the Western United States, as you know, to test it. But I'd love to see the truck hit the East Coast. I think it's important, maybe even more important, to expose the KUIU product line to the East Coast for those that have less experience with it, maybe have less friends that are using it, and really expand the reach of our product line. Because I've been to 3 tour stops, and it's been amazing to watch new customers come in and like, I've heard about the brand, I've heard about the products. When they touch it and feel it and try it on, they see the difference and they become a KUIU customer. They kind of, they just get it, what we do and how it's different. And I think that's something you can't present online, you can't present through our catalog. The product, like I said, speaks for itself, and when people can see it, we get an amazing response, whether it's a trade show or the truck. So I appreciate the comments and feedback, and I would love to have it pushed further east in the future. I think it's important. So, well, thanks everybody. I appreciate your time, and look forward to the next KUIU Live event next week. And again, topics, discussion points, anything you want me to cover, either go through Instagram, Facebook, or customer service and let me know, and we'll cover it in the upcoming KUIU Live events. So thanks again. I appreciate everybody's time, and talk to you guys next week.